They keep saying you're not one of us, that you're just American. But we're both black, DP. I don't understand why that isn't enough for them. Hey, I hear you. None of that is on you, and it's sure not on me. I know where your heart's at.
It hurts so much.
Y'all know I'm milking this 11. I'm back on the 11. Well, DP, why are you using 11? Because I got my little phone. You know what I'm saying? I'll be honest with y'all. I wouldn't mind having another 11 just like this because I like how it feels now and it's heavy. That's why I like the 11. I wish I could keep it. You got to turn it in for what I'm doing, but I like it. Now the camera ain't nowhere near as, but sometimes I like that little gritty look or whatever. And it's, and then it kind of keeps me humble a little bit. It's like having an old school. This Apple 11 is like having an old school. It's an old school. So what I want to do, I want to kind of usher us into, 2009. The story about my pops, that was like a 2009 story, or not 2009, but 2010. I want to usher y'all into that. Another update, I got a little irritated, man, because I was supposed to have an Asha addendum. That was only 10 minutes, and I think I accidentally deleted it, messing around with YouTube, getting confused on how much stuff I'm uploading. That's why I see people like to use the YouTube studio on a desktop. But now I'm using almost everything on the phone. You know what I'm saying? So, and like I say, my laptop, it's time for a whole new studio upgrade or whatever like that. I might have some time. There might be something coming up where I'm going to be able to get back into that. But, the phone is so mobile. Like, I don't like getting tied down to the desk anymore. I'm on the desk all damn day at work, so I'd rather be up in here. I like the acoustics. But there's going to be some things that I'm going to have to do, especially when it comes to like the song breakdowns and what I was thinking, because that's a part of this story. That's a part of this journey. That's what the lyrics and all of them, that's all based off of it. So as I said, we back in the saddle. So right now I'm going to try to recreate the Asha addendum as much as I can, unless it happens to pop up or I find it on one of these phones. I think it's gone. I think it's deleted forever. I don't know how the hell I did that, but maybe I've just been looking at it. Eyes been kind of tired because, like I said, I be working on this every little spare minute I got. You know what I'm saying? That I ain't really doing nothing specific. I'd rather be doing this than watching TV. I'm creating my own TV show, so I'm missing out on a lot of little shows I'll be watching and stuff. So I think I'm going to take a little break. You know what I'm saying? But over the course of this next week, I might slow it down a little bit, let y'all digest it, because I'm popping these joints out left and right. You know what I'm saying? But, I don't think we're going to be oversaturated. You know what I'm saying? So, because like I said, I got years and years and years of stories to come. You know what I'm saying? Years and years of story, so I'll slow it down in another couple weeks. But right now, we just going to rapidly have to move towards 2010. All right. So let's take a step back to, I gotta break down the addendums, and there's another video that's gonna be coming up where you're gonna hear the addendums to, and this probably ain't gonna have no videos. This gets like a little mini addendum and kind of a precursor into 2010, into going fully edged into 2010. So we're gonna revisit some stories and memories as well. So I might put a few videos, maybe a couple. But it's mainly going to be based on tech and interviewing and stuff like that. And it might have a little, but it ain't really going to be too down and dirty. Not really like that. It might have some reflections and some old stuff, and then, like I say, because this addendum is, man, I'm kind of frustrated because I had these videos, you know what I'm saying? But I think I still do got the Asha videos. Like some of the videos that were supposed to go with the addendum was only 10 minutes long, but it was some key points and key elements. All right, so now after you seen part one and you seen part two of me explaining what we had to go through, and I'm letting her know, hey, you know what I'm saying? And you're gonna hear some more about this in a minute, because there's another story, you know what I'm saying, that's gonna come up. Not a story, but break it down as to why I didn't really, why didn't I keep going forward with it? But I'm probably going to release this first so y'all can have just a better understanding. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I can't remember everything I said in that addendum, man. So when we pull it off and I'm dropping her off, I don't think she got back in the car again. I think it was a situation where when I dropped her off, She was a little mad because I didn't go to St. Paul. And, you know, I told y'all that, you know, I probably should have just brought that woman to St. Paul. Now I want to tell y'all somewhere. I just watched a reaction or interaction that I thought was telling, very telling, and I thought it was not so much disheartening, but like I'll say a very sober reminder. It was a sober reminder, man, because now I'm starting to kind of look at how that old lady looked that I didn't want to bring to St. Paul. So just literally about 5 minutes ago, or 15 minutes ago, I go into Walgreens. I'm buying some stuff, and I'm just watching. I'm just watching, and I find it very interesting. So I see an old school, you could tell she's from an older generation. I see an old school Somali lady get ready to pay for her stuff. There's a sister, you know, she tatted up and everything, got all the little tats and whatnot. She getting ready to ring her up. She's speaking to the lady, hey, how you doing? The Somali lady gets looking at her like, don't talk to me. Now, she looked like the lady. She kind of favored the lady. The lady looked a little older, a little more feeble, but she kind of looked like the lady when I didn't, you know, go over there and drive, you know, bring her to St. Paul, but Asha wanted me to bring her to St. Paul. And so I said, I wonder how this reaction, you know, interaction going. The black lady kind of looking at her like, damn, she ain't going to reply. So she's trying to speak to the lady. She being kind, and the lady just being rude. She just, you know, she don't really want to say nothing. Real nasty. That's a common, believe it or not, in Minnesota, that's a common thing. Too damn common. And see, here's the thing. We gotta fucking say this shit, man. We've been dealing with that shit for a long ass time here. A minute. And this is the reason why they're probably not getting the support that they think that they probably want. Now, the younger generation, I'm going to give them a little pass because they're a little younger, you know what I'm saying? So they abide by our culture. We don't abide by theirs. There ain't nothing I'm going to be honest. Let's keep it 100. There ain't nothing in our culture, in their culture that we think is cool. We might go to a restaurant, but we ain't adopting their culture. They adopting cultures of ours. Rap, hip hop, music, the way we talk, the way we look, the way we dress, all of that. Whether it be good or positive. But see now, the old school generation, the old guard, that they sat down and showed them TVs and stuff like that. Some of them still got that in them. And you know what? They in for a rude awakening. And you see what's going on right now. They in for a rude awakening. You know what I'm saying? And it's just something I observe. But you know, like I say, what people want us to do, what they want black Americans to do, is they want us to cast that aside and act like that shit don't exist. My mother used to deal with it. My grandmother used to deal with it. Getting in them cabs and all that. They want us to not say that happened. Under the banner of well-being Pan-Africanism. There ain't a lot of Pan-Africanism between those cultures like that. You got some of them adopting our style and our culture, and that's all. And then, like I say, you might have had a couple go out there and throw rocks for George Floyd or whatever like that. But man, I'm telling you, I'm from this bitch. I'm from Minnesota. I'm telling you. Ain't no brother all the way. It ain't. And see, that was the thing me and Asha was dealing with. And she's like, man, I know what they be doing to y'all sometimes. I know they do. And we know why, because of the propaganda in the TV. But see now, we got these motherfuckers right here. Y'all ain't got no damn excuse. At this point, you get no pass. You can't say, well, I'm holding on to an old ideology. No. Y'all got information. Y'all got the internet. Unless you in the middle of the bush somewhere and y'all ain't. So, you know, I gotta say that. I gotta say, we can't pretend that's not a, you know what I'm saying? That, you know, so I've seen that a lot. I used to go to the stores as I was growing up in Cedar Riverside. When they started taking over the stores and they got the grocery store, I'm coming in there, you know what I'm saying? I'm buying stuff, acting just like that a lot of times. And then there was some that was cool too, mainly the younger ones. But you know, so folks is wondering why a lot of us is like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Y'all going to figure it out. That's why, bro. But you know, like me and Asha, we had to deal with that. We go places, man, and every time that we decide to go somewhere, if we go somewhere, you know, or specifically, I'm like, okay, I want to spend some money with my brothers. I want to spend some money with some black folks. Let me get some coffee. Let me get this or whatever like that. Every time me and her decide to go somewhere, we go into a store, we getting stares and looks as if I'm a white man or some shit. You see what I'm saying? So we were trying to battle through that and talk through that and figure out how we going to go about, if we continue, you know what I'm saying, how are we going to go about doing that and stuff like that. Because like I say, this is a smart girl. This is a real smart girl. She's not stupid. She knows what's going on. And what I liked about her is, what really drawn me to her is she wasn't willing to accept that shit.
He's my friend. It's not for you to judge. We just
She would check him. She would check him publicly when we used to go out and folks be looking at her. Sometimes the women kind of look at her. She said, you know, she'll say,
yo, Ash, chill. It's cool. Don't worry about it.
Hell no. They won't disrespect you.
her little language or whatever, you know, and she would check their ass. Some of them they get into. I remember I seen a couple little, you know, when we, you know, she would check their ass. So I never took that away from her. It wasn't. I had a problem with her. That wasn't the issue with her. I liked her. I was getting the kind of like the small amount of time we got. Like I was starting to kind of care for her a little bit, but we just didn't hang out a lot. But I know how she felt about me. But man, I'm telling you, she used to say, because what I'm showing y'all is just a tip of the iceberg on that interaction when we went inside the coffee shop and we get out the coffee shop and go in my apartment and shit like that. There's a whole damn missing piece. I'm not telling y'all all the interactions. I'm just kind of giving y'all a picture because it was so many damn ones, so many looks and so many funky ass attitudes over the fact us being out and about, you know. Now, I'll say this. I will say this. Now check this out. Now this is even a deeper addendum. I'll say this. There was a restaurant on Cedar, and I had a real close Somali homie in the building, and me and him used to talk about this stuff all the time. And he was like the male, like, you know, you know how Asha used to think. That's how he would think. But he was an older cat. He had a little gray beard and stuff, and he was a little, I don't know. He looked like he probably might have been close to 35, 40 when I was 20 something or whatever like that. So he was an older cat. So me and him sometimes would hang out and we would talk about that shit. And he'd be like, yeah, man, my folks out of line, bro. He'd be like, man, they out of line, how they treating y'all, bro, how the interactions be. And he said, we don't all think like that. He said, some of them over there be doing that shit. He said, that's some bullshit. So he didn't like it either, you know, and he would tell me, he said, man, you know, my folks, I got to kind of separate them from, cause he was getting that money and they always be trying to scam and get him out of money and want to borrow it, not pay it back or whatever. So he says, man, you know, we go through the same shit with our folks, bro. Don't let them think that y'all are of the criminal class and all that. He said, man, it's some real live scamming ass Somalians and criminals up in my community, bro. Probably more than yours. He said, don't never get it fucked up. He said, I just want you to know that, bro. So we running and he's telling me I'm extra shocked about a lot of stuff. And he, you know, and then he was telling me about this cot stuff that they done. I said, man. Cause some lady got killed in Cedar Riverside over the cot. Every time I come to this nigga's house to give him some mixtapes or something, they sitting up there chewing for hours and hours and hours. And I said, bro, when you gonna go to sleep? Oh, man, it keeps me up. You see, I bring the women in. He got some badass Somali chicks up in there. These some 10s. He's sitting up there with 10s. He told me come down one day. He said, man, I introduce you, man.
What's good, my brother?
Always good, Habdibi. Life sweet when you move correct. You see me, I stay clean, keep some cash, keep the queen smiling. Somali style, but I got love for every black man moving on.
Introduce so one day I sit down and they remind me of Asha. They look a little better than Asha. I ain't gonna lie. They look a little better than Asha, but you know, I don't want to disrespect Asha. I'm just saying they did look a little better than Asha. And so he's like, man, hey, you meet, you know, DP or whatever. They smiling and all that, but I don't know why.
Come through, my man. Kick off your kicks, you home now. Got shot and fruit ready for you.
Bet. Smells good in here.
Slide in, find a pillow, I'll pour you something smooth.
Boy, what's your name?
I didn't get with him. I don't know, because he used to have 2, 3 of them in there. I don't know if he was paying or they just like his company or they chewing the cot. But that nigga had 2, 3, 10s and 9s up in there on a weekly basis. I see him, they trailing in. I said, what you got going on up in here? I'm gonna call him Abdi. I said, what's up, Abdi? What you doing here, hey, brother? You know, I'm just minding my business, man. That was his nice way of kind of telling me, like, man, if you ain't trying to holler at these bros, you know what I'm saying? He's like, so, you know, I'm sitting up there. I'm like, man, bro, I said, hey, you doing it. He said, yeah, man, that's what I do, man. He had a little swag about him. He said, yeah, that's what I do, man. You see, I don't hang out with everybody. And he didn't hang out. He had a couple Somali homies and they were kind of quiet. I kind of liked them. They were real quiet. They were all dressed. Them niggas could dress. You know, they got their own way of dressing, but them niggas could dress. I ain't gonna lie. They could dress. And they got their T. These, you know, you want some TDP. So I'm rocking with him and stuff like that. So I'm not having no shroud of perspective, y'all. I'm not. I had something that rocked out. I ain't gonna never be able to say that. I had something that rocked out with me. So I ain't gonna be able to paint them with just a curved brush. I lived around them. You know what I'm saying? You know, so, you know, I'm treating folks well like I want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? And so, but like, so I'm telling him, I'm like, man, what's up, man? Like, how do I get? He said, man, you're not Muslim, man. They don't, you know, and you a freedman or you a black American, man. They ain't gonna rock with you all like that, man. He said, some of us, you know, we don't believe in that. He said, I believe that's some bullshit, man. He said, you know, I understand what your people did for us, man, you know, but you know, not everybody thinks that way, man. He can't control everybody. He said, I tell you what, man. He said, these girls right here, man, you know, he's referring to them. They weren't there one time. He said, them girls you see come around, he said, man, you hang with me, man. I give you the baddest, man. They all look good. They look good, man. And they all look good. He didn't never have a duck. I don't know why I didn't start hanging with him with that, but you know, he's like, hey, man, come down. Like, all right, have me come down one day, eat some tea. So they always drinking tea and they chewing cotton. So I'm drinking the tea. You want some? No, I don't want none of that shit, man. My jaws might fall off. They laugh and I say, yeah, man, keep me up all night. Keep me up all night. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, like, and he told me some stuff about that stuff, and I ain't gonna put that on him, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, like, that shit. So, you know, Abdi, man, he was cool, you know what I'm saying? He always come by. He said, man, the Somalians always coming by borrowing his movies, not paying them back. You know what I'm saying? So he's trying to, you know, like, I can tell he don't really want to put his people down, but man, he used to tell me all kind of shit they be doing. He be like, man, these niggas here, man, he be mad about it too, but he feel like in their culture, they gotta share, but they don't never give it back to him. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? So he would tell me, he wouldn't tell them, he would tell me, he'd be like, man, bro. So, you know, I'm telling him about, I think I might have told him about the situation with Asher. I'm telling him about, you know, sometimes and he's like, yeah, man. He said, man, just bring her somewhere. He said, soul food. She likes soul food. She doesn't eat.
Talking about dating Somali woman, yeah? First move is simple. You take her somewhere with soul, real soul, black American food, collard greens, mac and cheese, cornbread, hot out the pan. Let her see you respect flavor. Soul food date.
Pork. I'm like, yeah, man. You know, she ain't gonna eat no swine. He said, yeah. He said, man, bring her to soul food. Bring her to soul food spot. Bring her to black American spot. He said, oh, what you do? I'm getting to the story with Cedar Avenue. Cedar Avenue. I would go to the one on Cedar. A lot of times, especially during like I used to go there in like 2013. At one point, he was telling me, was it 2012, 2013? I don't know, but I went up there for a minute because after Chet put me on to the food, I'm like, man, this shit good. I don't know what people been talking about. It's good. Now, you know, Jacob Fry, he couldn't get it down. That ain't the
Jacob Fry or Onaya. Jacob, hey?
Try it. Can I try it?
Yes, try it. Mix it. It's delicious.
What is that?
This is ambulo. What do you say? Ambulo. Mayorka Minneapolis waxa uu caaw ku casheynayaa ambulo reer koonfur galbeed.
Food that he had some other shit. I don't know what he had, but he eating that like he couldn't eat it. No, I was hollering that joint. They give you a banana because they know I had.
Good evening, brother. You Somali?
Nah, I'm black American, man.
Ah, okay. One moment. Here, start with this.
A banana? Say less.
15 minutes. Thank you for waiting. Steak with rice and peppers and fresh mango juice.
Oh yeah, that's gorgeous. Appreciate you, boss.
Enjoy, my friend.
You already know this about to hit different.
Diabetes. They accepted me on Cedar and Lake. A lot of times I come out. I went up there with one time with somebody sometime. I went up there one time and I don't know who I went up there with, but I go up there and I ordered like the typical, like it was a chicken and stuff like that. But then after a while, I started kind of getting sick. And I said, damn, man, you know what I'm saying? What's going on? And, you know, every time I go to work, my stomach gets beat. My stomach can be off the chain. And so I tell Abdi, I'm like, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? I be going. He said, oh, man, don't go up there anymore. That's foul. I said, why didn't you tell me? He said, I didn't know you were going up there. I'd take you to another spot. So he took me to another spot. And I didn't get sick no more. He took me some spot on Nicollet, but we sat down together. We drove up there. You know what I'm saying? We sat down, we drank our tea. He said, man, so, but by that time, he's like, hey, man, I still get the broads, man. And, I'm in a relationship now. So I'm like, nah, I'll be or whatever. But like, when I was living down there, when he was down there like 09, early 010, and even before that, like he was down there a minute too. So the one on Cedar and Lake, I'm gonna tell y'all another story. This is another. Now this is like another Asha story. I'm gonna call her Mika. I'm gonna call her Mika. But this goes way back before then. This is like fresh out of high school. So I seen her up in the restaurant one day. So look. So one day I'm up there because I done ate there. I've been eating there for years. You know what I'm saying? I've been eating there for damn near 4 years, or I've been eating there for a minute now, I think. So, but like towards 2013, I started getting sick. They changed management and it started getting real janky or whatever. Somebody wasn't following health codes or whatever, and it eventually shut down. So, I'm sitting up here. I'm talking to somebody. Cause I remember, okay, so one of the first couple times I came up in, I can remember I'll tell you the introduction. So I go up in there. I think at this time, I might have not have had a car. Maybe. I'm thinking maybe I didn't have a car and I might have took the bus and I was on the 19 or something like that. So this could have been 07, 08. I don't know. So I go up in there now and I sat down and, there's some other Somali brothers. So man, big shout out to them. Like I said, I ain't painting no wide brush. I'm just telling the story how it is. I'm telling the story as I saw it. So I walk up in there and I'm ordering and I'm, they like, what you want? I said, I want the chicken or I get the steak. That steak would be good. So I get the steak or I get the chicken and I'm just sitting there by myself. I came in, I think through the front. Sometimes you come in through like the side. The women come in through a certain side. So the women will come in and they'll sit and they got like a little prayer room or whatever like that. So I come in, I sit down, or make my order. They bring me the juice. It was mango juice, or either they bring me some water. So let me get some water because my sugar might have been low or whatever like that. And I didn't, you know what I'm saying? So they give me a banana. And so I didn't want to eat the banana right then and there because I didn't want my sugar to be too high. And I'm like, damn, they must have high sugar because they eat that mango juice and that banana. And it was fire. Oh, Lord, it was fire. So I'm sitting there by myself. Group of Somalian dudes, they eating. They got a whole plate of food. They dressed up. Hey, what's up, man? They say, hey, wait, brother, what's going on? I said, man, I'm just sitting here waiting for my food. You Somali? That's what they point. You Somali? I said, no, I'm Black American. He said, oh, okay. He said, okay. He said, well, we eating over here. You hungry and stuff. I said, I ordered my food. He said, come over here. So they made me get up.
Brother, you hungry?
I'm just waiting on my plate. They said give him a few.
Nah, come here, sit with us.
I appreciate it, but I'm good, man.
Wallahi, come eat. No sitting by yourself.
We cannot allow another black man to not eat, my friend.
I can't argue with that.
Bismillah, brother, dig in.
Y'all about to spoil me.
You family now.
And sit down. And so I got up, I sat down by them, and they just eating. And they like, man, you get you something to eat. And I'm like, man, I'll just wait for my food. He said, nah, we gonna share. And they made me eat with them. They wouldn't accept no. So I'm eating the lamb and all this. And I said, man, I appreciate it, whatever. I said, he said, man, we ain't going to eat in front of you, bro. We don't do that. So I said, that's what y'all do. He said, that's our custom. We going to eat together. He said, we ain't going to let you just sit there and not eat. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, so I'm respecting it. I'm highly respecting this. You know what I'm saying? So my food comes. I go back over there to the table. They're like, all right, bro, you know what I'm saying? You see us here, whatever, man. You ever see us sitting? I'm not used to that. So, so now I'm eating my food. Now I'm already kind of full. Cause when they gave me a banana, I'm like, man, I can't eat this banana. The banana come with the meal. I'm like, man, I can't eat all this. So, they had the banana, they got the mango. And I'm like, by this time, my sugar is, my sugar coming back up or whatever like that. So they know that they start noticing I got diabetes. So this is what they would do with me. During the month of Ramadan, they ain't supposed to eat at a certain time. They got to wait. So they might go and they might sit, they might pray or whatever like that. But a lot of times, what will happen? It's a certain time that I gotta, so I'm going up in there and I'm waiting. And I'm like, man, let me order my meal. They say, oh, the time. So it's a certain time that, it wasn't 6 o'clock yet or whatever it was. And I'm like, oh man, damn. I said, damn, I'm diabetic, bro. I need something. So they said, okay. So they brought me the mango juice. They know I like the mango juice. So they bring me the mango juice and I be done drank the whole thing. It's just so sweet and so good though. But I'm drinking the mango juice and then now it's time to eat. So now I see everybody get ready to come in. So one of these days I come in there and I see Misha. Now
What, you think I woke up to be quiet today? Not me. If it smells like stale coffee, I'm telling you. If it's good, I'm taking a second cup.
Morning, Mika.
Morning, Ahmed. Keep walking before I roast those shoes, okay?